Also, you guys can't see it, but Nandor's asleep on a chair right there, and if he's still here by the end of the video, I'll bring him up, okay? Okay, I dropped something, and Nandor left, so I can't show him to you. Daddy! He heard Juno barking, and so he went upstairs. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about board games and board gamey things. I am back again today with another preview video. And today's preview is on Legends of the Seas from Arcade Games, who very kindly sponsored today's video. Now, something I want to mention very importantly is that this is on Gamefound for one final day. So last chance for romance, my friends. If you want it, I'm going to have all of the information and everything that you need to know. It's going to be in the description below. Few things to note. Number one, this is a prototype version of the game. So please do be aware that everything that you see will be upgraded and anything is subject to change, and that includes even the rules. As per usual with my preview videos, this is not a full how to play. I am going to give you a general overview of how the game works to help you decide whether or not it's a good fit for you. So without further ado, I say we dive in and we learn a little bit about Legends of the Seas. Splash. In Legends of the Seas, players become the shipmates of the Arrow, a legendary ship locked in a desperate fight for survival. The game blends a physical board game, miniatures, dice rolling, teamwork, and a fully integrated app that brings your NPC crew to life. Eli the Lookout, Oldor the Boatswain, and Captain Alara aren't just flavor text. They speak to you through the app, delivering enemy attacks, weather changes, events, and the consequences of your decision. Every scenario has a unique objective. Maybe you're racing to a destination. Maybe you're trying to survive long enough, to just survive. Maybe you're sinking an enemy, or maybe you're transporting precious cargo. Every scenario is infinitely replayable with different events and outcomes each time. But what does literally any of that mean? What does it mean? I just said a bunch of words. I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a closer look at how the game works. So to start, as per usual, let us take a look down here at the table. I am currently set up for a 3-player game. I will mention that you can play this game solo if you choose, but if you do play solo, you'll need to choose 2 different characters to play with. But I have selected 3 of the characters for this example. Another thing to note that, like I mentioned before, this is an app-based game, so you will need a device to play the app on. We have our ship here, which is the Arrow. Our crew is out here, and I've set it up as if we've kind of advanced just a little bit throughout the game, just so you know. So we've got some cannons and barrels and different things. Every character will have their own character sheet right here, as well as a help token, and then they'll also have their miniature as well. So just to take a little tour of one of these character sheets, we have the character's name, we have their help ability, we have some storage here for barrels, we've got their kind of abilities. So like as an example, this top one here is the amount of movement that Alma is able to do. Oh, and I should probably mention, you may see some things that you're like, what language is that? I do have a French prototype version. Just so you know, if you are going to be purchasing the game in English, you will have an English copy. Mine's in French, and that's okay. I took French immersion for the majority of my life in school. And you're like, wow, you could speak French? No, not really. I just did all my schoolwork in it, still can't speak it. Anyways, this is the general setup, and now everything is going to be dependent on the scenario that you choose as well, just so you know. So the first thing we're gonna select English for our language, and then we are going to select new game. Now this is a demo version of the app as well, obviously. So all of the other scenarios are currently locked. So the only one that I can choose is called the Flame. The game will flow through repeating turns made up of 2 phases. We have the ship and enemy phase, which will be app driven, and the app via the characters will tell you everything that's happening. So it'll tell you when enemy ships attack, when weather weather shifts, if damage is spreading, if there's an events or encounters, it's going to all be kind of through the app, and I'll take you on a little tour of that in a minute. The other phase is the shipmate phase, and that's player driven. So all players are going to act simultaneously during this phase, deciding how to move around the ship, what actions to take. So the types of things you can do in this phase, each player can move up to their movement value. So you remember that's right here next to the little like yellow feet. You can perform one action, and there's a few different types of actions that you can choose from, which I'll talk about in a second. And then you could also give one help. These, like I mentioned before, are your help tokens. You could do that in any order, and once again, I'll talk about those in a little bit more detail here in a second. So actually, let's talk about giving and using help right now as one of those things that you can choose to do. Help is vital in this game. You want to be able to, this is a cooperative game, obviously I should mention that, but you want to be able to help your teammates throughout each scenario. So you can either give or use help. To do this, you're going to place your help token in your room or in any room that you pass through. So I may want to put it, is that your, yep, that's her room. You may want to put it there as an example. Then another player can pick it up to use your bonus on their roll. You can't use your own help token. I should say you can only use other people's, and everyone will retrieve their token at the end of the turn, so at the end of that round. So like I mentioned before, each character is going to have a unique help action, which is signified by this little handshake icon here, but they're all listed on the card and everything is explained in detail, as well as having symbols. So another thing that you can do, like I mentioned, is move. You can move between connected rooms up to the number shown on your character card. So if I wanted Alma to move, they can move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. You can move before, after, or between actions, and multiple players can also share a room, so that's really important to know. The other thing, like I mentioned, that you could do is you could take an action, and there are kind of 3 main actions that you're able to take. The first being shooting. As an example, let's say they're here. This room has a cannon in it. Big cannon. So you can shoot if you are in a room with a cannon and if there's an enemy on the same side of the ship. So you can see there's kind of different areas in the sea. These are our enemy ships over here. The app is going to tell us when enemy ships come out. So let's just say that this enemy ship is here, and we're going to put enemy tokens on it. We've got all of the different enemy tokens over here. So I'm going to put a couple enemy tokens there. So there's an enemy on the same side of the ship where you have the cannon. Then what you're going to do is you're going to roll the attack die, which is this red die right here. When you roll it, it is going to fly across the board, obviously. Whoa! When you roll it, whatever it tells you is going to signify what is going to happen. So we've got we've got 1 damage, we have 2 damage, we have 3 damage, and then this side is referring to the treasure deck. Then you can also add bonuses from your characters. So this character here was the one using the cannon, Horo. They have a bonus here for attack, which is an additional die roll. You could use help tokens, you could use treasure cards for these bonuses. Whatever you got, you can use. When an enemy's monster tokens are gone, like so, their little boat is going to sink and it's going to reward you with barrels. We'll talk about what barrels do in a little bit as well. All right, but that's how you shoot. The next action is to repair. Now, different rooms can be damaged in this game. There are 2 very special rooms. We have the hold and the helm. If either of these rooms are destroyed, you just straight up lose that scenario. You straight up lose. The other areas are going to be able to take damage as well, and there are 3 different types of damage that you can take. So the 3 different types of damage are fire, flood, and crack. To repair, you're going to roll the repair die, which is the blue die. Each symbol will repair 1 matching damage type. So here we have flood, here we have crack, here we have treasure, ooh, we have fire, we have flood, we have fire and flood, so whatever the die says. Whenever you do any of these things, I should mention you are going to have to notify the app so spread stops, because damage to a ship can spread from room to adjacent room. So essentially what you're doing is you are going to be taking your actions and then you are going to be letting the app know what's happened. You're going to do the same thing with shooting. You're going to do the same thing with the next action, which is maneuvering. You just need to communicate with the app so the app knows what's going on. So speaking of that other action, it's maneuvering. Like I mentioned before, there's two special areas in this ship. We have the helm and the hold. The hold is a great storage area. We can keep some barrels there. It's good times. The helm is where we actually steer the ship. So in the helm, if you want to take a maneuver, you can roll the die to determine your maneuver options, which is this green die right here. A higher roll is going to mean that you have better options for your maneuver. So maybe it's dodging fire, ramming enemies, recovering barrels, and more. So this is how you are kind of maneuvering your ship. And once again, you let the app know what you're doing. But I also, before we kind of take a look at the app, I also want to mention these barrels. Barrels are your most important resource. Whenever you sink an enemy, barrels will appear in the ocean. Each turn, the sea will push them toward the back of the ship, and then they will vanish. So you must rush to collect them, very important. To pick up a barrel, you need to be in the room on the correct side, so either port or starboard. And then you also need to be in the right zone, so we have front, middle, and back. When you do that, you're going to place it in the room or on a character card. So like I showed you before, the character cards do have spaces where they can hold barrels. You cannot pick up a barrel if the room is destroyed, and I will mention a destroyed room is when there are 3 damages to that room. So it could take 1, it could take 2. Once it takes 3, it's destroyed. Or if there's no free slot available. So let me just grab a barrel. Okay, let's just say that this looked like this. We have somebody here, and we had another barrel out here. Okay, so we wouldn't be able to bring a barrel into this room because there's no free slot available. Okay, so these are the slots for the barrels here. Like I mentioned, barrels are a really important resource. You can use the barrels in a room to build equipment shown on the face-up construction card, which are these blue cards up at the top. As you can see here, we have a face-up one here to build a cannon, which costs 3 barrels. To do this, you're going to pay the barrel cost, build the equipment, and then reveal the next construction option. So there's always going to be kind of one face up. There's another cannon. Here we have a ruin, which looks like this. So they have their own little figures. And I will mention you can build multiple constructions as long as you have the barrels needed. Once again, the room isn't destroyed and there is an open construction slot. Each of these areas that have the construction symbol, that is where you're able to build them. So you can't put a second cannon in this room because it already has a cannon, so it does not have an open construction slot. Another thing that you can do with your barrels is draw treasure cards into the player's hands. Now, treasure cards are great. They allow you to power up your shots, your repairs, your maneuvers, or even your character abilities. So the cost to do this is actually going to depend on your player count. So in our example, we have 3 players. That means we would need to pay 4 barrels in order for each player to draw 1 card. In a 2-player game, it costs 3 barrels. In a 4-player game, it costs 5 barrels. So it all depends on your player count. So let's take a look. Let's take a look-see at some of those cards. So there are lots of different options. This one is giving you +1 repair die. This one is taking away 2 fire damage. You're not supposed to be in there. +1 attack die. So everything is going to be listed on the card, but just know that they are one-time use, and they're really just kind of amping up the things that you're able to do. So the question is, how do you win this game? You win by completing your chosen scenario objective, and you will lose if either the helm or the hold is destroyed. Once again, that's when they receive 3 damage total. The app is going to track your score, it's going to track story progress, it's going to track everything for you. and it will give you a score at the end. And then you could just play again or try a brand new scenario. Once again, all of the scenarios are replayable. So with that being said, maybe it's a good time to take a sneak peek at this app. So we're going to click on where we're heading. We're going to the flame. Then we're going to pick which characters we have. So we have Horo, we have Alma, and we have Enki, and I will mention the other two here. We have Gali and we have Shin as well. This is narrated. Okay, we're gonna skip it because I don't want to spoil it all. Once again, I'm not gonna go through everything. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, let's see what these monsters are made of.
I'm just gonna turn the volume down. Whoa. That was the opposite of what I want it to do. But that's what the app is going to do. It's going to narrate everything for you. It's got some thematic music, and then it's going to tell you what you need to do. So this is in the ship and enemy phase, just so everybody knows. Place enemy red goblin sloop to port. So it's going to show you. So this one's going to go right here, and we've done that. Then she's going to tell us a little bit more. She's going to tell us that we need to put the orange goblin sloop to port. It's right here. Okay. And it shows you on the map. Then we have Holdor. He's telling us some stuff. So it says, draw 1 damage token from the damage token bag and place it on the front port room. Okay. Fire. He's going to continue telling us what we need to do. It does show us on the map here. Is going to tell us now that we need to place 2 damage tokens on the front starboard. Ooh, super flooded. Okay. Then we are going to have to place 1 damage token here. Wow, we are bringing on some water, folks. That's no good. That's no good. All right. Place the rough sea card in front of the ship. Is this one? So that was that first ship and enemy phase, and now it's going to be our turn. Up to you. So now, as we take turns, as we do different things, this is the button that we're going to be pressing. So let's just say that we had Enki here who wanted to attack. They are going to be attacking the orange ship here. Okay, so they're able to attack either of these ships. They rolled the die, they're choosing the orange ship 2 damage, and then we're going to click that we've done that. Okay, and then we're going to get more context, more information. Remove the enemy orange goblin ship from the board because we've destroyed it. And then they're going to tell us, and I think I put all my barrels out here, place 2 barrels at sea on the front port side. Okay. Because remember, the barrels are going to be moving back throughout the game. So anytime you do anything that needs a check, we are going to be doing this thing. Look, let's just say we want it to maneuver. Okay, so that's 1. We can maneuver. Then it's going to give us our options. Do we want to dodge some damage? Do we want to recover barrels? I'd love to recover some barrels. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're taking turns. We're talking with the app, and you are just going to continue in that way. There are different environment cards that are going to be suggested. We got some rough stuff happening. We have a little bit more calm stuff happening. That's calm. Sea, that's rough sea. We also do have the Kraken, and we have all these different enemy ships, all of which are going to have, like we got this big green one. It's going to have 5 different enemies. Really, it's all going to be determined by which scenario you're playing, what the app is telling you to do, everything like that, everything you need to know. It's all kind of like supported for you. So my friends, that is Legends of the Seas in a nutshell. Once again, everything is going to be linked in the description below, and that's not a full how to play, but realistically, there's not that many rules. There's only a few rules that you really need to know. You need to familiarize yourself with the iconography. The app's going to walk you through everything else. So your question might be, who is Legends of the Seas for? Legends of the Seas is perfect for players who love cooperative games and teamwork. If you enjoy app-driven experiences that are highly thematic, you've got the music, you've got the actual voice actors, which not every app does, but this one does, so it really helps immerse you into the world and the scenario. If you want a cinematic storytelling adventure with tactical decision making, if you like simultaneous play to keep downtime low, and if you would like a campaign style feeling without being locked into a full campaign, this could be a really good fit for you. This is dice driven, high tension, but because it is dice driven, that does mean there is an element of luck, so just be mindful of that. And if you want minimal bookkeeping, there are some of these types of games where you feel like you're spending the majority of your time writing things down. The app tracks absolutely everything for you, so you don't need to worry about it. And of course, if you love the theme of like pirates and naval combat and sea monsters and fantasy ocean adventures, it could be a great fit for you. So really, this is a perfect fit for families, casual gamers, strategy lovers, like full-on gamers. Like if you want something that is relatively like a light lift on rules, high lift on strategy, immersion, and it's pretty quick to play as well. So once again, this could be a really good fit for you. But my friends, that is Legends of the Seas. This game brings a ton of theme, tension, and variety to the table with the app integration. It just makes the world feel truly alive. So if it sounds like something that you might be interested in, all of the links are going to be in the description below, and you need to run, not walk, because the campaign is going to be ending tomorrow. So please do keep that in mind. But that is everything that I have for you all today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, we are going to go to Gamefound for this one, but other games you can check your friendly local gaming store. For us, that's the Boardroom Game Cafe. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. And now I say goodbye. Goodbye.